or the father or the mother or the wife or the husband, they didn't work for this wealth. All this wealth that is coming to these children or the parents or the other close relatives, they did not work for it. They did not earn it. Allah is giving it to them. So it is in a way resembling to ghanima. It is resembling to the spoils of war, which you receive without any fighting, without any hard work, without any effort. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds these people, look, you are getting all of this without doing any hard work for this. You did not earn it. So when you are getting this fortune without any hard work, so you should have this feeling of sharing this with those who are less fortunate. Sharing with those who are more needy and more deserving than you are. But Allah has given it to you, so you may be earning reward by sharing some of this with the less fortunate and with the needy. So this is the message that comes out of this ayah. The next ayah, وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Allah says, and let those fear in their behavior towards orphans, who, if they left behind them weak offspring, would be afraid for them. So let them mind their duty to Allah and speak justly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding the guardians and the executors that when they are distributing the wealth, they should remember that one day they will die, and if they leave behind weak children, those who cannot claim anything for themselves, young children who do not even have understanding of what's going on, what's happening, so they should keep in mind that we should do the same as we would expect others do to our children. So as we want others to do complete justice in distribution of our wealth for our children and our family members, we must do justice in distributing the wealth of this person in his children as well. This is a strong message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that those who are responsible of distributing the wealth, they should keep in mind and they should do the distribution in the same way as if they had left behind weak children, and they would fear for them as well. فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. So they must fear Allah. وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. And they must speak words of appropriate justice. They must speak right words. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. And those who eat the wealth of orphans unjustly, indeed they eat in their stomachs in the fire, and soon they will enter into blazing fire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that eating the wealth of orphans unjustly is not something that you can ignore, or is not something that will be ignored. It is just like putting fire in your stomach. Who would ever put fire in his stomach? Who would eat fire? And the ulama, many ulama have mentioned that even though in this ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that they are eating fire in their stomachs, but in reality these people will be replacing all that which they are taking unjustly from the wealth of orphans with the fire of hell. So on the day of judgment, whatever they had taken will be replaced with fire, and it will be put into their stomachs. وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. And soon they shall enter into a blazing fire. Blazing fire which has high flames. Even the flames alone are enough to burn the person. But this person will enter into the blazing fire and will be will be sunk into that blazing fire and will burn in there forever. If he died on kufr. And if he died on iman, he will burn in there for as long as Allah wants to punish him. So one should never take this matter lightly of eating the wealth of orphans or trying to cheat in the wealth of orphans. There are many different ways of cheating. For example, you are reimbursing yourself for some of the expenses that had incurred in taking care of the wealth of orphan. In that much, you will be excused. Whatever is reasonable, and whatever you are reimbursing yourself with. But if you are taking more, if you deserve only $10, but you took $20, then the extra $10 that you're taking from the wealth of orphan is unjust, and you are basically putting fire of $10 in your stomach. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save all of us. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. The next ayah number 11 of Surah An-Nisaa, is a very detailed ayah in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains the shares of each heir. And the following ayah after ayah number 11 will also mention a few shares. So the next two ayahs are very important, and we will discuss a few details about that. It's all about ilm al-fara'id or ilm al-mirath. And we will learn the significance of these ayahs and the significance of this science as well, inshallah. But it's important. The next two ayahs will take much of our time as well. But inshallah, we will try to pay due attention to the tafsir of these ayahs. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Any questions?
For example, before I die, whatever I will, my wealth, I give it to somebody.
Yes.
And then some people, which is not my son or daughter, if this guy,
All of your wealth? If you're asking whether it's jaiz or najaiz, halal or haram, it's a different question. But whether you should do it or you should not, that's something you should ask about. So if someone wants to give away all of his wealth, knowing that the children need it more or the close relatives need it more, then that person may not be doing the best. The best might be to give it to the children or other needy relatives. Once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked by one of the companions radiyallahu anhum, he said that I want to give all my wealth in sadaqah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, no, you cannot do that. He said, what if I give half? Again, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not approve. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you want to give your wealth in sadaqah, then only give 1/3. So if you want to give sadaqah from your wealth, give only 1/3. Do not give more than 1/3. And then he also said, أن تترك ورثتك أغنياء خير من أن يكون عالة أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, that it is better to leave your relatives in a more stable financial position than to leave them in poverty. Because if you leave them in poverty, you're not doing any favor to them, you're not doing any good to them. But if you leave them in a good financial condition, you will be doing a favor to them, and you will be doing a good thing to them. So a person should be mindful of that. And when someone has left anything, whatever one has left behind, when distribution is taking place and the person has written some will that this much wealth should be given in charity, then only 1/3 can be given in charity. No more than 1/3 can be given in charity. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد افضل صلواتك بعدد معلوماتك اللهم انا نسالك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى اللهم انا نسالك العفو والعافيه والمعافاه الدائمه في الدين والدنيا والاخره ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. جزاكم الله.